The princess who chose the river over the crown long ago, before the maps had names for our forests, before the rivers were tamed by bridges, there was a kingdom called Irako. Irako was rich in palm oil, rich in yams, rich in gold. But Irako was poor in one thing, peace. And Irako had a princess. Her name was Adana. She had gold on her neck, a crown waiting for her head, and a wedding waiting to seal a treaty with the Prince of Uzali, to end the water war that had drained both kingdoms for 20 years. But when the moon was full, on the night before her wedding, Adana vanished. The guards found only her golden slippers by the great river. The king sent 100 men. The drums of war beat again. The river kept quiet. Adana never came back. But this is not a story about a lost princess. This is a story about a princess who chose to be lost. And what her kingdom lost because of it. Princess Adana was born during the palm wine festival. The elders said it was a sign she would bring sweetness to the land. But sweetness, in Irako, became a chain. By the time she was 16, Adana's life was not her own. Her mornings were lessons in how to sit so her back wouldn't ache in the throne. Her afternoons were lessons in how to smile so the Prince of Uzali would think her gentle. Her evenings were lessons in how to speak so she would never, ever say no. I am not a calabash to be traded between kingdoms, she told her father, the king, one night. You are Irako, the king said, without looking up from his war maps. A kingdom is not a person. Your duty is to be full, even if you are empty. So Adana learned to be empty. Each night, when the palace slept, she would climb the tallest tower. And she would listen. Not to the drums. Not to the court gossip. To the great river. It roared past the walls of Irako, wild and deep and wide. It was the only thing in her world that did not ask her to be still. That did not ask her to be small. The night before her wedding, Adana could not sleep. The river was louder than it had ever been. It didn't speak in words. It spoke the way your chest knows a storm is coming. The way your skin knows before rain. She took off her wedding beads. She took off her crown. She wore only a simple wrapper, and on her wrist, her mother's brass bangle, the only thing her mother left her before she died. She walked barefoot to the great river, carrying her golden slippers in her hands. Great river, she whispered. The water lapped at her ankles, cold. They say you take everything. You take trees. You take houses. You take men. Take me too. But please, don't take me as a drowned thing. Don't take me as a body they find 3 days later. Take me as one who chooses. The river rose. Not like a flood. Like a curtain being pulled back. From the water stepped a woman. Her hair was white foam. Her eyes were deep pools where you couldn't see the bottom. Her skin shimmered like a fish under moonlight. Mama Nukwu. The mother of the river. The one the fisherman left palm wine for. Child, Mama Nukwu said, and her voice was the sound of water over stones. Kingdoms don't let their crowns walk away. If you come with me, Irako will call you traitor. Your name will be a curse in their songs. Your father will burn your bed. Yet, the price of staying is your spirit. You will be queen of a kingdom, but you will be a ghost in your own body. Choose. Adana looked back once. At the palace. At the tower. At the life where she was a prize, not a person. Then she set her golden slippers in the sand, side by side. Neat. Final. I'd rather be cursed and free, she said, than blessed and buried. And she stepped into the river. At dawn, the wedding drums stopped. The silence woke the whole palace. The king ran to the riverbank himself. He found the slippers. He fell to his knees in the mud like a common man. She drowned, the chiefs whispered. But the king knew his daughter. No, he roared. The river stole her. The river is a thief. In his rage, he cursed the water that had fed Irako for 100 generations. No fish shall feed us. No boat shall cross. Let the great river dry up and die, since it took my air. Then he sent his warriors. 100 men, with spears and torches, up and down the banks. For 7 days they searched. They shouted her name until their throats bled. The river gave them nothing. Not a footprint. Not a thread of her wrapper. Because the river was hiding her. For 7 days, Adana lived in the belly of a great fish. It was dark. It was warm. And in that dark, she heard things. She heard the songs of people Irako had forgotten. The farmers taxed until their children cried at night. The young boys taken for the water war who never came home. The women who carried water 10 miles because the king's men took the closest wells. She learned their songs. She learned their names. On the 8th day, the fish opened its mouth on a distant shore, and Mama Nukwa was waiting. She touched Adana's forehead. "You cannot go back," she said. "A river cannot run backwards. But you can go forward. Your old name is dead. Your new name is Eneni Miri, Mother of Waters. Now, go where you are needed." Adana, Eneni Miri now, walked. Past the maps. Past where Irako's hunters would dare go. Until she came to a land the color of dust. The people called it the silent place, because even the wind didn't bother to blow there. The soil was cracked. Children's lips were white with thirst. "Who are you?" the elders asked, afraid of this stranger with river grass in her hair. "I was a princess," Eneni Miri said. "Now I am only a woman with a song." She knelt in the center of their dead village. She sang the songs she learned in the fish's belly. Songs of the forgotten. Songs of thirst. Then she raised her mother's brass bangle and struck the earth. Once. Twice. Water answered. Clean. Cold. Endless. It burst from the ground like joy. She taught them to dig wells. To plant yams that didn't fear the sun. To read the stars so they'd know when rains came. To settle fights with words, not spears, because she had seen enough war for 2 lifetimes. They didn't give her a gold crown. They wove her a crown of river grass. "We were thirsty," they told her, "and you became rain." Back in Irako, the great river shrank to a trickle, just as the king had cursed. The fishing boats sat in mud. The yams died in the fields. The war with Uzali never ended, because there was no princess to trade, no water to fight over. Just dust. Because, as the elders now say, crowns can't grow crops. And so the story ends. Or maybe it begins again every time someone chooses. The elders say that if you walk by the great river on a quiet night, when the moon is full and the wind is low, you might still hear her. Not crying. Not screaming. Singing. The songs of the forgotten, so they are forgotten no more. Some princesses don't get saved by princes. Some princesses save themselves. And then, they go save someone else. Because the ones who run aren't always lost. Sometimes, they're just going where they're needed. So tell me, if your crown felt like a cage, would you have left too? Comment, river, if yes.